What's going on, everybody? Adrian, AM Hookah Podcast here. Do a little bit of talking on technical difficulties. There's not going to be a whole lot of a demo today, because the demo on this product, even if you could call what we would showing off this product a demo, I don't think you can even call it that. It's that simple. I'm going to do more talking about the product, and I have to preface it. So first things first, I got to say hello to Rose of Death, Khaled, Travis, Paul, Cat and Wetbeard, Justin Young, Mark, who else? Me, I'm Pipe Dream Hookah, and Hookah Uni. So what's going on, everybody? Today, you can read, I assume. We're going to be having a brief but important conversation on a product that Alpaca just released. And that product is going to be, it's not a bowl, which is what we're used to Alpaca releasing. It's going to be this. This is a foil replacement, and we'll get to that in just a moment. I do have to, like I said, preface some stuff. I am a huge fan of Alpaca. I love everything that Omar puts out, almost everything that Omar puts out, and I think their products are second to none in their category. I think they make very good bowls at their price of entry, and I think they're aesthetically pleasing and very functional. What's going on, Matthew? I'm here to do a little bit of explaining and a little bit of complaining about this product right here. So, first and foremost, what is it? You all are smart. I'm smart. We're all smart. We deserve Nobel Peace Prizes. It's this. This is what it do. This is actually an Alpaca Goodfella V3, so it makes sense that it's a pretty snug fit. This device is meant to go on top of your bowl, and we're not going to call it a heat management device because that can lead to confusion from time to time, but it's a foil replacement device. You place it on your bowl, you put your coals up on top, and I'm going to do a quick count for you. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 holes in it, which is an unlucky number. Probably should have done a little more R&D on that, Omar. 13 is not a good number for holes. Could have gone 12, could have gone 14. I wouldn't have gone 12. More on that soon. But yeah, fits on top, and obviously this is meant more to be used with a lipped bowl. However, the only lip bowl I have readily available is a stone fit, and that's going to be a hard no. It just doesn't quite fit. No, it's not a Fugazi, it's not an Illusion. The lip's just a little bit too tight. So, before I get into my impressions of it and how it works and whether I'd recommend it, by the way, these are going to be available at the Expo this year, the Hookah John Worldwide Expo. That's when these are going to be released, and I'm hoping that Omar takes a few things I say here into consideration and does a little bit more R&D on these. Because before I can get into how I like it, I have to tell you guys about something that happened pretty promptly when I first put heat onto this. And my camera might not be good enough. Let me see if I can zoom this in. Let me see here. You can kind of see it right here. Where else do we have it? Because the crack comes through the back too. Right. I don't know if it's going to matter how I shine this. My camera quality is just not that good. This bad boy is cracked. It cracked as soon as I introduced heat to it. And I noticed that it wasn't just a surface crack, but the crack actually does go all the way through. I can actually see through the cracked area. It's a shame. I'll do some higher definition photos for you guys later. But we did crack this device. And it wasn't through a drop or anything. It was just through putting coals on it and letting it heat up. And the crack went all the way through. It's not just a microfracture, which I'm a big fan of, actually. This thing microfractured out of been static. I think microfractures are aesthetically pleasing. I think they make things like this in bowls unique. Now, it cracked in the thin part, because I think this will translate. You can see how thick this is, and when you turn it over, you come to kind of this really thin part, as opposed to what we got going on over here. And that is where it cracked. So, we cracked it. It still works. I think I'm actually going to use it on Monday's episode, where we're going to have Omar from Alpaca Bowls on with us live, talking about his product. So, I'm going to say the bad stuff first. I'm a big believer in going through the shitty stuff first and ending on a high note. Shitty stuff, this is probably a defective product. Matt, the other guy, the M from the AM Hookah Podcast, this did not happen to, and he has had very enjoyable sessions with. I have had some, I'm not going to use the word subpar, might be too strong, slightly less than ideal sessions is what I've had with this so far. So, It cracked. There's 13 holes. Let me smoke a little bit. Relax. Not rush the conversation too much. What am I smoking? Brought to you, as always, by our boys over at Prestige Coconut Coal. Normally, I plug the Jumbo Flats. But today, I'm going to plug the cubes, because I'm a big fan of their cubes. I've been using their cubes recently. Why? Because Tristan Jensen said it best himself. 2 cubes and a Provost is all you need for heat. So let me see if I can do this without destroying anything. I did it. But check out Prestige, affiliate link in the description below, of course. How are my initial sessions with this? Well, I'll start with, it only fits in a few bowls that aren't lipped. If you have an Alpaca bowl, that's a pretty good bet. It's going to fit pretty snugly. Here's an issue I had with just the design of the bowl. You can use these with an unlit bowl, but they're dangerous because if you look on the inside, there's no beveling or anything. If they had beveled this in a way where you could drop it into the bowl and there was something kind of interlocking it within the bowl, I think we'd actually be in pretty good shape. But because that isn't the case, if you're klutzy like I am and you're not using this in a rim bowl, there is a solid chance that the slightest bump to the table your hookah's on will cause this to fall off. Also, the what are we smoking segment, I didn't even tell you what I was smoking. Cashmere peach, cashmere apple, cane mint. First draw, actually, so we can share this moment together. That is floral. Normally I mix my cashmere peach with something like Tasty Peach or Foreplay. It's very floral. I'll let you know my thoughts on the mix after. This is my first time having cashmere peach and cashmere apple in the same bowl. It mostly just tastes like cashmere. Back to this. Since there's no inner bevel on the disc, this will slide off of your bowl with the lightest bump. Now obviously when you have it on a lipped bowl, no issues. Although you're going to run into the issue of it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass to take off of your lip bowl before allowing it to cool down. So keep that in mind. And then the amount of holes there are, 13 holes. I've noticed a slight restriction when using this. And this is, it's simple. It's not even, it's just arithmetic. I usually poke somewhere near 30 to 40 holes. And they're actually not that much smaller than this. I go for pretty wide holes. So when you think about this having a restricted draw, it's pretty obvious that it's going to. It doesn't take a lot of thought. There's less room for air to flow through your bowl. So you're going to have a slightly tightened draw, which is a shame. Some people might prefer that, and I don't think that's going to be a huge issue one way or the other. So I guess you could call that negative, but that's almost preference based. If he added a few more holes, I could see it being more open and therefore better in my opinion. However, he probably has to be careful with the amount of holes he puts in this because of the spacing. If the holes are too close together, if the crack forms between holes, then the whole thing might split, and that's going to cause an issue. Aesthetically, these are sweet, by the way. I don't know if you can see this, but it's just got the Alpaca signature colors, which are just like pastels splashed around the surface, and the bottom is not glazed for obvious reasons. The bottom's going to get a little bit dirty. So let's talk first session. First session I had was on the Goodfella, not this one. This is the Goodfella 3. I had it on the Goodfella 4, the V4, and I had the Alpaca Clay disc put on top of it, and I introduced 4 flats. And why did I go 4 flats? Well, probably because this is not foil. This is thicker than foil, and it takes longer to heat up. So 4 flats, I thought, shouldn't be an issue. I placed them on, started smoking, and within 5 minutes, it was smoking good. I noticed the initial restriction, which I thought, this is kind of a bummer, but no big deal, because it smoked pretty good. It wasn't really a huge issue. I thought to myself, like, maybe there's a way to change whether it's restricted or not, or maybe even most people wouldn't care because it's so slight that it took me a few minutes to even notice it. But then I heard this sound. It was like a glass sound, almost like a piece of glass. I don't want to say breaking. It was like a small pop. And when I heard that, my buddy Jake was sitting with me, and we looked at each other, and I looked up at the bowl, and I was like, the fuck was that? And I checked it out, and I saw it. It cracked. I picked up the coal, and there was a crack already. And I thought to myself, we're about 10 minutes into the session, so this cannot be good. So we smoked through the rest of the session. We did get through 2 rounds of coals. The cracks did spread quite a bit, although the initial crack on the underside only goes to about, you can't really see it, but to give you an idea, oh, maybe you can see it here. It's between my 2 fingers. And wait, did it focus? Holy crap. Focus on the thing. Do it. Well, you can kind of see it. There's the crack, and the crack does exist on this side as well, which you can kind of actually see if I hold this correctly. And the crack did spread and microfracture, and I didn't think it was a huge issue. I used it a second time, and it didn't crack any further, but I still had the issue with a slight restriction, and you have to use a lot more heat than I normally prefer to use. So, a few pointers I would give to Omar, if I could. Not that my word is the final dictate. And also, this is really important. I think my roommate got water in my hose. This is very important. This is just my opinion, and this could very easily be defective. So if the restriction isn't an issue, or maybe mine is just slightly more restrictive, I don't think we have a problem. Also, if this cracking is solely due to how thin this is, like maybe it was just literally a defective item, which happens with every brand and every product. So that's totally fine. This could be a fine product. What I'd like to see is Omar get him this thick the whole way around. Like this whole beefy boy right here. I want it to be like that over here too. Because that's where it cracked. And I'd like to see the introduction of about, I don't know, 5 more holes. Push it up to 18. Justin, what are your ideas to improve it? Because that's something I was pretty interested in. Final impressions, and I know this isn't a super long talk. This is something I wanted to talk about before we had Omar on because I think it's important information. And I also wanted to have this in video form so Omar could see my thoughts kind of laid out. And it's pretty difficult to talk about. I don't like saying negative things about anybody, especially people like Omar who just do a fucking good job on almost everything they put out. Thoughts, initial thoughts, and final thoughts up to this point. This is an okay product. It does work. Like, it works exactly as intended. But if you get any type of variance in the thickness, it's going to crack, and I think that's a big negative point. And then the holes, if this is snug, Matt said that he didn't notice any restriction. But when he sent me a picture, I saw that it looked like there was a little space between the edge of his bowl and here. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, well, yeah, of course there's no restriction. You've got a hole the size of a crescent moon on the side of your bowl. So that's going to allow for a lot of airflow. Justin Young says it's top secret. You coming out with products, Justin Young? Are you going to be the next big product bringer to the U.S. hookah market? Going to compete with our boy Omar? I think that's just a good thing. I think more products are better, so good on you. I am picking up an Alpaca Lapache to see if this works better on that product. And hey, it's probably going to be good. Hey, how's it going? Who is that? Matt, are you talking through AM Hookah? Is that you? Hold on, I gotta find out who this is. He says wrong account, so I'm assuming this is Matt, the only other person with the access to the main account. That's actually getting good fast. I'm gonna rate this on a 7 scale for you guys. It's something I do on my personal channel. And keep in mind, this might not even be the final iteration of the product, but this product I have in my hands right now, this literal one, not all of them, but this guy, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 7. I don't like the way it performs for my personal preferences, and it cracked, which is a huge issue, and I'm not going to downplay the fact that if you're not using it on a rook or a bull or anything, this could just slides right off. And gravity isn't that powerful when it comes to just clay on top of clay. So I think that's going to be an issue. So one thing I definitely could say is, like, if it's Justin, maybe you've thought about this, you could embevel like a little ring around so the ring sits inside of the rim of the bowl, and that would cause it to not fall off. Say if the table was bumped or something. Kyle Smith, what's going on, baby? What's going on, Akeem? What's going on, Matt Desmond? Matt, I think going live on Facebook to talk about anything like that is always a good idea. Everybody in the chat, should Matt Desmond go on? And Paul says yes, and that's pretty much the best opinion. Paul's opinions are my favorite opinions. So I would definitely do that. Okay, what the fuck is slots 25? Can I do that? I'm Pipe Dream Hookah, so... Kyle, I was so pissed when I found out you went to New York, right? Because, like, I heard it was a surprise, and when I saw you were there, I was kicking myself in the ass for not just, like, finding a way to make it there. Not that I didn't want to see everybody else, but, like, there were a lot more people that I wanted to see there than I thought there would be. Alright, let's find out what this deal with this slots is. Slots 50. I'll do 50. No, you gotta type. What's the deal here? You got Wolf, Sparkling Heart, and you lost your 50 bowls. Man. Yeah, Kyle is Adrian's favorite. You heard it here first. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. But yeah, and maybe we'll go over some other general discussion stuff while I've got you here. This isn't going to be a super long one. But I really did want to just inform everybody, because the expo's 2 months away. These are going to be available. We're going to have Omar on to talk on Monday. And he's very good about constructive criticism. He's actually just a very good producer of things. He's not even just a producer in the hookah market. He's an entrepreneur throughout multiple facets. So he's very good about that stuff. And I would say keep your eye on this. And also talk to Matt. Talk to, I think Wayne Gonzalez has one. Talk to those people, because they probably had different opinions than me. Me, I am disillusioned and a little bit, I feel a little bit, what's the best word for it? Cumbersome? I feel that this is a bit cumbersome, which is a problem. We'll also try it with a lip bowl and see how that works. Yeah, you do need to change the slot stuff and make a hookah stuff, Matt. What the fuck? Matt, like the video. I can vote too. I'm a big boy. Matt, can I need permission from Matt to do this. Matt, there's a reason that people might want to start collecting more bowls now as opposed to later. And I was wondering if that's something I could allude to a little bit before the show wraps up today. This show's probably going to last a half hour or so. Matt, what do you think? Matt, don't you dare like this video under AM Hookah. Yeah, Kyle. Kyle's an actual producer. You can see the difference between Kyle and me immediately. Kyle knows how to make things that are good for the market, and I'm just good at half-baked ideas. But even Kyle said, a rim, if you made this bowl, let's say this is about, I haven't measured this, I would say this is around 3 inches. 2.5 to 3 inches, probably closer to 2.5 looking at it. And, dink, yeah, like 2.5. But if you were to extend this by about, I don't know, a half an inch on all sides and then add an outer ring, that would work. The only problem I foresee there is going to be you can't use it with lip bowls, right? Like, that could be an issue, could it not? Matt and I had a meeting the other night, and because he just gave me permission to do this, had a meeting the other night, and we've really been discussing how we want to use bowls, our cryptocurrency, on the podcast, and we've had the same vision for them mostly the whole time, but start collecting bowls, because we're going to start looking at how many bowls everyone has and figure out what like the median of like the highest 10 bowl holders is, how many bowls they have on average. And we're going to start, like, I can say that they're going to be flash. Keep an eye out for them, but we're not going to warn you. But we're probably going to start doing giveaways for physical things. And to get into this giveaway, it's going to cost X amount of bowls. And it's going to be a high enough number where you're going to be highly rewarded for being a very regular watcher of the AM Hookah Podcast. Because we really like making sure when we do giveaways that people who are super dedicated to the podcast get a hold of those first and foremost. So get those bowls, like, I'm going to try to get some more bowls and win my own giveaway. So, yeah. That's a thing. Show me. Show me slots. Everyone lose your bowls to make a good buying market. You could also take that tactic. But if you do it that way, then you're not going to have an edge over people who you have more bowls than. So if like one guy keeps all his bowls, and I'm still going to run this through Matt, but I'm thinking like, say we do 1,000 bowls and you have 2,000 bowls, you can dump all 2,000 for 2 entries. I think that would be fine. Every 5 minutes people make 2 bowls. We could probably increase that, I think. That's interesting. You could leave it the same diameter, don't widen it like you mentioned, and then with a ring added, you could just invert it, ring up for a lip bowl, ring down for a standard bowl to stabilize it. That's interesting. Kyle needs to get with his competition, Omar. I actually don't think, it's funny, when you think about like people who are in the same space, like Kyle and Omar, for instance, you would think that they would be competitors. But I don't think that that's necessarily the case. Because they're kind of in 2 different markets. Like Omar, I want my alpaca bowls and I want my relics bowls, but I want them for like the same but different reasons. Like when I buy an alpaca bowl, it's kind of like just buying a normal product that you know is going to be good every time you buy it. And then when you buy a relics bowl, it's going to be like a premium product that you know is going to be good every time you buy it. That said, Omar still makes premium products like his 24 karat bowls and stuff, so I don't know. Yeah, you know, Kyle, just give Omar all of your ideas. It's probably a good idea. What are you guys betting on? Why were people refunded? Betting has opened. Well, Matt, what is this doing? Will Matt smoke Static Starlight tonight? Why are people betting on... Yeah, Matt's going to smoke Static Starlight. Everyone bet yes. Make some bowls. You want some inside information? Matt's ecstatic to have Static Starlight back in his life. And why shouldn't he be? It's a good product. But yeah, expect to hear more about this Monday. We're going to have a few people who know about it, talking about it a little bit. And if this is something that the market's interested in, I could see this becoming a real thing. With a little bit more R&D and a little bit more consistency, this little clay cookie could actually become a very rare product. Especially for people like some of my friends who can't foil a fucking bowl to save their life, and they only smoke blondes anyway. This is great. I would love to just be like, don't worry about foiling. Pop that on. We're good to go. Smoke your bowl. Adrian, you try bug powder? I'm assuming that's supposed to say bug powder. No, I actually haven't had the... I had bug powder like a long time ago. But I do believe that bug powder's flavor profile changes a little bit over time. Depending on what cashmere flavors were thrown into it. Paul, send me some bug powder, baby. What are you doing? Just send me a kilo of bug powder. I'll give you a good review. Very good. Not even a problem. Jesus, Kyle. Bet 1 million Matt smokes Static Starlight before telling any of his daughters he loves them. Yeah, that's probably true. No, I have not tried Azure Grow Up Hair. I've tried a lot of Azure flavors. I have not tried Grow Up Hair. That's something I'm going to have to try at some point. I think they have a good purpose to them and could be good for travel if you can keep them safe and such. I'd like to see some type of a case, maybe a clamshell case with styrofoam or felt on the inside that you could just clamp around this bad boy and take it with you. Because yes, if you have a lit bowl, I could, like, the aesthetic is flawless. Pop this in a lipped alpaca bowl, boom. It looks gorgeous. You take it off. The bottom's getting a little bit messy. Don't even worry about that. That's not important. Use a scour pad, scrub off the big stuff, and leave this little black junk on it because it doesn't matter. That's not what you're going to see when you put it down anyway. Kyle watches this show a lot. By the way, Kyle, thank you so much. You're the best. Kyle, you want to win some shit? Because I'm pretty sure you have enough bowls for anything we try to give away. I have 45 bowls. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably going to hop off of here in like 5 minutes. So any questions, comments, concerns, any topics of discussion you might like to cover before I end this? Normally technical difficulties is a bit more of a deep dive into how to do something. But this one is just, I wanted to explain my thoughts on this before Monday, because this is a much more open platform for me to talk openly without interruption on my ideas and thoughts. So I thought I'd do that today for you guys, give you a little bit of a sit-down conversation. What I'd like to see, by the way, is we're on hangs when you're done. Yeah, I'll be there, buddy. What I'd like to see is this get offered for an augmented price with the purchase of lit bowls. These should be easy to produce. I don't know a lot about clay, and I don't know a lot about spinning, but I know a lot about cookies. Fat joke. And this is a cookie, and cookies are very easy to produce, and they put holes in the cookie. So it's like White Castle. You save on clay. So I'd like to see these offered up with lit bowls for maybe an additional, I don't know, $5. What do you think this thing is worth? I have no idea what the pricing is going to look like, but Alpaca keeps their prices competitive. So, although there's nothing competing with them at this time in this sphere. Alright, it looks like no one has any real questions. I hope some value was provided on this little 30-minute powwow on this cookie. All the ideas I heard were really good. I'd like to get some of them over to Omar, see if he can utilize any of them. But I really love it if there was some way for this to just be safer, because I do like the aesthetic of this. Like this looks nice to me. I think there's a really good idea that in the case of this exact one unique product that I have in my hands, it wasn't executed perfectly for this individual unit. So Matt will be there to talk more about his. I saw that the one he sent me was I like the one Matt has better than this one. So I'm going to have to start making sure that products get shipped to me first, and then I'll ship the one that I like less to Matt from now on. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That's just about gonna do it for this episode of Technical Difficulties. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'm going to scroll my mouse over here and figure out how to transition out.